Hey guys, today we are talking about percent of a number and percent proportions. Percent of a number, all you have to do is change the percent to a decimal and multiply because of means multiply in math. Please write that down and put 2 stars next to it. For example, find 5% of 300. So we convert 5% into a decimal, which is 5/100ths as a fraction or 5/100ths as a decimal. We put a dot for multiply, and then 300. So all you have to do is type that into your calculator. Make sure you have one handy. If not, pause the video and grab one. And you get 15. So what we're saying here is that 5% of a number, or of 300, is 15. See it as a proportion. 5%, because percent means out of 100, right? 100% would be the max. We have 5%. That would be the same as 15 out of 300. All right, another example, 25% could be written as a decimal point. Percent, all you have to do is divide it by 100 in your calculator if that helps. So 25 divided by 100, or looks like this, written as a fraction, is 25/100ths times 180, and you get a total of 45. Okay, pause, try these two. These have to be written down in your notes right now. So example 1 and example 2 for me. Ready, set, go. I'll be back in just a second to show you what I did. Okay, the first thing that you do is you rewrite this as a decimal. You can leave it like this or like this. Of means to multiply, and 70. So you get 28. Over here, 55% times 160 would look like this as a decimal. Of means multiply, 160, and you get 88. If you got those right, please place a check mark next to each of them in red. Okay, sometimes percent can be greater, that's supposed to say greater than 100%. Let's look at one of these. If I'm finding 120% of 75, it has to be 75 and up, okay? So, because 100% would be 75. So we want 20 more percent. So, what does this look like? Well, divide by 100 to remove the percent, and you get 1 2/10 times 75. So 1.2 times 75 gives me 90. Okay, your turn. Change it into a decimal and then multiply. Okay, you should have gotten 1.6 times 35, and that would have given you 56. Okay, again, that's example 3. Place a check mark next to it if you got it right. Okay, just kidding. Next thing, percent proportions. Can you please write this down for me? Put a circle around it, and if you have a highlighter or a marker, please make sure that you set it off with one of those. If not, use your red pen. So, what percent of 15, that's not supposed to have a percent sign, is 9? How is this different? Well, before, we knew the percent and we knew the total. We were finding the part of the whole. So now we're looking at the part and we are looking at the whole and we're trying to find the percent. So another way to write this is percent over 100 equals the part over the whole. Can you please write that down for me? Again, put a circle around it using whatever form you did before. So we don't know the percent. That's where our X goes. It goes in the percent spot. We know that every percent is out of 100, so we put it over 100. We know our of is 15, which goes on the bottom because that's our total. And we know our is $9. I think that was supposed to be a dollar sign and not a percent sign. So now we have a proportion that we can solve. 9 times 100 is 900, and that equals 15x. So we divide by 15, and we're left with, and let me do the math real quick, 60. is our answer. Okay, so this isn't just 60, it's 60%. So in these ones, all we had to do was just multiply straight across because we knew the percent and we know of means multiply. But with ones like this, where you're finding a missing piece, it's helpful to set up this percent proportion. Either percent over 100 equals is over of, or the part over the whole. Okay, so let's look at a couple more examples. Let's look at a few more examples. What number is 76% of 25? So let's look at what we have. We have the percent. So let's plug that in over 100. Set that equal to, we don't know our is. What number is, so that's our x. And we know it's out of 25. That's our whole. So we're missing our part. So we have to either do this the 6th grade way, which says 100 divided by 4 is 25. So what's 76 divided by 4? Or we have to use proportions. So 76 times 25 equals 100's x. So it's up to you which way is easier for you. So I'm going to show you the simple, for me, 6th grade way this time. This is a division of 4, so this is a division of 4. That's the strategy I'm using. So 76 divided by 4 would give me 19. If you used the other way, you would also get 19. In this case, we're trying to figure out what's the percent. That gets our x. We know that we know the total is 40. And we know that the is 16. That's our part. There isn't an easy way to get from 100 to 40. So this time I'm going to multiply 100 times 16. I get 160. X times 40 is 40x. Divide by 40. And I get x equals 4. Excuse me, that should have been 1600, so this would be 40%. Okay, and remember to put the percent there if that's what you're looking for. Okay, in the next one, we know 14 is 56%, but we don't know what number we're looking for. Just like up here, we didn't know the percent. Here, again, we don't know the number. So we have our part. We don't know what the total is, and we know it's 56%. So 56 times x is 56x. 14 times 100 is 1400, or 1400. Divide by 56, and using my calculator, I get 25. So the total is 25. All right, down here, what number is 12% of 50? So I have the percentage, I'm unsure of the part, and I have the whole, which is my of. Okay, again, this is a quick division of 2. So right here, I'm dividing by 2, and I get 6. All right, you're going to try a couple for me, and I will be back in just a second to show you what I did. Make sure you write each one down and try to use our percent proportion. If you want to use the 6th grade way or proportions with cross products, either way will work. I will be back in just a second. Okay, grab your red pen. Okay, the setup is always over 100, and you don't know the percent. So that gets your x. Of 80, so that goes on bottom, is 15. Use cross products, and then we would divide by 80, and we get x equals 18 and 75 hundredths. So that would be our percent. Yes, it's a decimal this time. That's okay. Sometimes you're going to have that situation happen. Down here, we know that 40 is 80%, but we're unsure of our total. Of always means total. So you set it up, 80 over 100 as your percent, 40 over unknown. 80 to 40 is a division of 2, so we know this is 50. And then down here, we don't know our is, we know our percent, and we know our total is 400. So we get, our x goes on top for our is, 5 over 100. I know that this is a multiplication of 4, so this is also a multiplication of 4, and I get 20. Okay, just a few more minutes. We're going to do a couple real-world problems now. If you have a highlighter, it's probably a good idea that you use it if you wanted to write down the problem. So in a classroom of 25 students, 16 are wearing sandals, and they want to know what is the percent of the students who are wearing sandals. Okay, so first thing that we want to know is what the percent is, and again, this is the percent wearing sandals. So we need to double check to make sure that I know that the part is the students wearing sandals, which it is. So that goes on top of 16, and we know the total of the students is 25. So this is a division of 4, so this way is a multiplication of 4. So what I'm doing here is multiplying by 4. Or you can do 1600 equals 25x, divide by 25. Either way, you get a total of 64. So 64 students. Okay, because this was my whole, and this was my part. Okay, whole also means total. Okay, again, highlighters are always helpful. In a survey, 525 teenagers were asked to name their water sports that they would like to try. 20% said surfing. How many of these were teenagers that said surfing? So we know the total. This brings us back all the way to the first slide. Find 5% of 300. And we just multiplied. So in this case, we want to find 20% of 525. So all we have to do is change this to a decimal, multiply by 525, and we get 105. Real quick, you could also set it up as a proportion. You know the percent, you don't know the part, and you know the whole, and then go from there. Okay, so this would be teenagers, 105 teenagers. Okay, that's all I have for you today, and I will
see you next time.